What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, the newest episode of ReZero Season 4 just dropped, and wow. That's really all I can think of to say about this episode is just wow. The things that I saw within this episode, my jaw is still on the floor at this point, right? My jaw is still on the floor. I'm shocked by what I've seen. I never thought I would see anything like this in ReZero. I've seen a lot in ReZero. Like I've seen season 1, season 2. Like I've run the gambit with Subaru as a character. This is something that I never thought I would see. I'm pretty much still shocked by everything that I watched this episode. This is a perfect episode of ReZero, in my opinion. This right here is top 3 episodes. Like it's up there with the season 1 episodes that I love to pieces. This is hands down the best episode that they put out in years. Like I know I've been told repeatedly that arc 6 is like perfect. It's one of the best. It's the best thing essentially that ReZero has ever put out. I was not expecting this episode. I was expecting a great episode. I've been told great things about the content within this season. I think this is what people were talking about when they talk about how great this season is. Stuff like this. Like, I'm still shook, man. This is so good. But enough with the preamble. Let's get into it. Let's talk about, honestly, this generational episode of ReZero. So, first thing that I want to talk about is the party composition of Subaru, Rom, Anastasia, and Patricia. What I like about this group dynamic is that it creates so many interesting dynamics within the group, right? Now, if you're gonna separate like the main party, you a lot of people would suspect it would be like Subaru and Amelia, maybe Subaru and Beatrice, and like a rare one could be like Subaru and Julius, right? Because those are the people that Subaru is closest with. No. What I like about this whole change that they made to the group setting is that it's people that could create a volatile reaction from Subaru with like Rom, Anastasia, and Patricia. Now, you wouldn't think it at first, but it just creates like a melting pot of conflict within the group. Like Subaru, obviously, like he might still be like thinking like, oh, Anastasia has a kidna, like he has to be worried about that. That might be in the back of his mind. Him and Rom, even though him and Rom don't hate each other, in my opinion, they have more of like a sibling dynamic going on with them. What I think though is that Rom is able to push Subaru's buttons in a way that no other character is really able to do. That alone is able to create interesting conflicts within the group. And then Patricia, we'll get into Patricia. I love Patricia, but wow, we'll get into that. We'll get into Patricia. Now, moving on from the group dynamic, what I like though, setting all of this up, is we learned from Anastasia that Rom was very worried about Subaru before he woke up. Anastasia basically tells Subaru like Rom didn't want to do this on her own, like she was scared to be on her own. So the fact that we were able to learn all these new things about Rom, we're kind of peeling the layers back with Rom. I like that a lot because to me, Rom wasn't really always one of my favorite characters. Like, mostly just because, in my opinion, she's not around as much, right? So, the fact now that we have extended screen time with Rom as a character, we're getting to peel back those layers. I like that so much more. Now, moving on from that, what I like too is right when we get to the door that Subaru cannot open. What I love about this is that throughout the episode, we've been able to see Subaru kind of just get through every wall that they've run into, right? All he's really had to do is just touch them, and then he's all set to go. Like he's been able to get through pretty much everything that's been in his way. Once he gets to this wall, however, he can't get through. He can't open it. And you see Subaru start to lose it a little bit. Now, what I like about this is that he could be reeled in here, right? Like, it'd be easy enough to reel him in. But because of the group dynamic that he's in, you're seeing Rom start to push his buttons, right? You're seeing Rom bring up Rem, and it's just triggering Subaru all the more. And you're seeing him get angrier and angrier until it all boils over and he uses invisible providence on her. Now, that wouldn't have been the craziest part. Like, yes, Subaru was like going crazy on Rom. He was like freaking out on her and all that. And I like that a lot because we're able to see Subaru's mental state start to unravel. But him using invisible providence on a friend, even though she pushes his buttons to the point of bringing up Rem and saying he doesn't even deserve to see her or anything like that, like the fact that he uses invisible providence on her and then he gets on top of her, starts choking her out. And when you see her start to try to kick away, if you notice, he puts his knee down and forces more of his weight on her so that way she can't even move. Like, dude, that was insane to me when I was watching that shit, man. Like, Subaru was losing it. That was such an interesting moment. And then obviously we see her like use her spell and she gets out of that. But what I like too is Anastasia comes up from behind and stabs her, right? And obviously, like, Anastasia goes down from that. Or not Anastasia, Rom goes down from that. But dude, once you see like her and Subaru essentially start to enter into a deal, and you can tell she's very echidna sounding during this interaction, which is another thing that I really liked. The echidna part of her is coming out a lot, and when Subaru goes to like shake her hand, you see the invisible Providence hand start to go around her throat. I don't know what that means. I don't know if Subaru subconsciously is trying to kill her because Anastasia also has the knife behind her back ready to kill him. So I wonder if they were both trying to kill each other at the same time. But all that's in vain because Rom launches her wind spell and cuts Anastasia in half. Now, this right here is body horror that I never thought I would see from ReZero. Like, you see, like, her entrails leak out as Subaru throws her, and then, like, you see Anastasia still able to hang on to him and, like, crawl up on him before she gets thrown. And the facial expressions that these characters have on their face, it's still haunting to even like just talk about it. That's how like chilling it was. Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. Like, you see the just horror on her face, the horror on Subaru's face, and you see him launch her, you see her go flying, and he runs off into the darkness. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about too with it, this whole interaction, this whole loop, is Patricia. We see Subaru come back into the light. He's been in the darkness for a little bit, and you see Patricia, and he even starts to like get angry at Patricia, like, how dare you disobey me and all that. And we find out that Patricia ate Rom, right? Like, we get it, the camera pans to Rom on the ground. Patricia ate her, right? Patricia like has blood running down her mouth, and then you see her kind of tilt her head and she starts laughing. That was the most chilling part. Like, Patricia and Subaru have had such a deep and profound connection like throughout the entire narrative. So the fact that you see Patricia just tilts her head and start snickering at him before she bites his head off, and then the death, and then the loop happens, and then we go back to the present, or we go back to the beginning. That was the most chilling loop I think I've seen from Subaru since season one. I'm not even joking. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, I love the loops that I love are the ones that are so psychologically taxing that you're wondering, like, when's it gonna end? How long do I have to sit through this? How long do I have to sit through this uncomfortable feeling of dread and anguish? Like, when is Subaru just gonna get put out of his misery? And he gets put out of his misery by Patricia, like the companion that he has had since season one. And then he loops back to Rom waking him up. And what I love so much about that personally is you're able to see the visible like fear on Subaru's face because he hasn't experienced anything like this in a long time. Yes, he was looping in last episode, but a loop like this is one that he hasn't experienced in so long. Like, not since he had to deal with everything going on with the witch cult in season one, in my opinion. Like, that is the most traumatic loop that he's ever had to deal with, in my opinion. This one, and this one's right up there for Subaru at this point. So you're able to you see the fear start to take over a little bit, right? A lot of it starting to like feed into like his decision making. Like he goes like, for example, instead of going right like he did in the last loop, he goes left. And as a result of that, he ends up in another terrible situation with like this centaur creature. And dude, the centaur creature, in my opinion, had such great animation going into that interaction. Like him and Rom's fighting, like I like that a lot. But what I also like too is Subaru essentially goes back to essentially operating with fear within this whole loop, right? Subaru is essentially, I think, more scared than I've ever seen him in like seasons, right? Like this is the most scared he's ever been. Like in other loops, Subaru tries to like think things through. He hasn't really had time to think about anything because the way these loops are working against him in this arc, it's like it keeps putting him right back at the heat of the battle, heat of the tension. Because like with previous loops, with what I've noticed, like in previous seasons, he's had time to think things out before he gets back to that moment, that decisive moment. Here in this arc, every time he loops, he's back at the decisive moment. He's back in the action, and he has no time to think about anything. And as a result, his mental state is starting to deteriorate. That's why we're seeing him like so panicked. This is why we're seeing the facial expressions on his face that we're seeing. And by the way, can I just say, whoever is doing like the facial expressions for characters in this episode, top notch. This is the best like facial work I've seen in ReZero in years. Like coming from, I say it all the time, but coming from season two now to this season, it's night and day. Like the character models are so expressive. Like the animations that they're making, like you can tell it's like they're inspired a lot by like body horror in this episode, and you can tell with how they're moving the characters. Oh, it's just so good. It's such a good episode, man. Everything about this episode, in my opinion, is perfect. It's a perfect episode of anime. I don't know what else to say. Everything about it is great. I especially loved when Subaru was running from the centaur creature, and you can just tell he's visibly terrified. Like in previous loops too, like he would probably try to strategize around it, but because of where he is now in his mental state, he all he can think of doing is running. And I love that so much. And then what I love too is the episode ends, right? We finally get to the end of the episode. And after all of this like tension and drama, and we get to the end of the episode, and Shaula shows up. Now, I didn't realize it last episode, but Shaula is the one that has been putting Subaru through all of this. Can I just say, I think I was completely wrong about Shaula. I thought Shaula was going to be like a guide character. She has been the one who has been the impetus for all of this pain and turmoil for Subaru. She was the one targeting him in the tower. I think she is the reason why all this stuff happened to him this episode. So she is going to become even more interesting as the episodes go on. Oh, and one creative decision that I like too is like the end of the episode where she says found you, it's a close-up of her eye, and then the ending like goes into like a close-up of her eye as the blood rolls down everybody because she's the one that's been causing all this pain and destruction. Love it. That's perfect. I love that so much. That's like one of the best examples of visual storytelling that ReZero has done in a long time. I like that they saved the ending specifically for the ending song for that. Perfect. Now, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know if you guys thought I missed anything. Like, I'm sure there's probably some small stuff that I missed, but light novel readers, I call on you again. like, let me know what else was potentially like cut or anything like that. But and dude, in my opinion, this was such a perfect episode of anime. I can't think of a better episode of ReZero right now, but like except going back to season one. But I think that's gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think about this episode down in the comments below. Did you love it as much as me? And let me know what you guys just thought about this episode overall. Like one of the best episodes of ReZero, and I'm just looking forward to having more discussions about it. So, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.